All right, guys. Our next guest is a busy man. When he's not fighting, he's fighting fires, protecting your community. He's gaming on Twitch. He's got the Jabs, Just Awkward Buddies podcast. He's got his own coffee. He's months away from welcoming his new son into the world, the former UFC heavyweight champion and consensus greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. And more importantly, the man behind Stipe Miocic's extra strength coffee, Stipe Miocic himself. Welcome back to Submission Radio. How are you, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Good. We're doing good, and we're happy to have you on. It's been a while since we've gotten a chance to speak to you. So this Jabs podcast, man, I feel like, every time we get you on, we're asking you all these questions, and now you sort of flipped it around. You're on the other side of the mic. Has it kind of given you a different perspective and all these media things that you've had to do over the years?
Yeah, a little bit. It's still a little bit different. We haven't had too many guests. We're getting more and more. We're getting it all set up now. But it definitely does. I think knowing what to say and not to talk about things that people have no idea what you're talking about. So you got to kind of keep it in hindsight, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of faking going on whenever we do these podcasts, but there's also the dream list of guests, right? Obviously, you're always on our dream list of guests. We've been lucky enough to speak to you over and over the years, but who's in the top 3 Stipe dream list of guests for the podcast?
I've never really thought about it like that. Honestly, I think just someone being on the podcast, I think it's good enough for me. I'm just happy, just grateful.
LeBron James wouldn't be on there anymore. He left you guys. He ditched you.
No worries. Listen, he brought us a title. No worries.
always welcome on the show. Dude, also, you are, I want to say about 3 months, I think, from welcoming your new son into the world. Is that right?
I think so, yeah. I think you're right. I think 3 months, roughly.
What's the anticipation like? It's kind of around the corner, man.
My wife's over it, Yeah, she just sits there and she's just like, she's so happy and grateful of being pregnant, but she's just like, man, it just sucks because, she's got to watch what she does and she can't do a lot of things she wants to do. But I'd say she's excited. She's going to get her baby boy. So, I'm excited. So, of course, I'm excited to have a son as well, but she's going to have someone on her team now because my daughter's all about me. So,
what's the process of choosing names? Do you guys have a specific way that you do it? And is there a chance you could put up a Twitter poll and just let the fans decide?
No. Yeah, so, me and my wife had a deal. I said, if we have a daughter, you can name her. If we have a son, I want to name him. She said, okay. And then that was thrown out the window. So,
so she chose Mila. That was her choice.
10 months. Yeah, she's like, I'm carrying the child for 10 months. I don't care. I'm naming it.
Is that?
Oh no, I asked my opinion. It wasn't like she's not gonna take my. She definitely wants to hear my opinion.
Okay. What would you say is the biggest thing you're looking forward to doing with your son when he's born? So many father-son ideas. I know you've had that opportunity with your daughter. What's the biggest thing for you with your son?
I don't know. All I care about is that both my children become great people and appreciative of everything they do and just, be kind to one another and everyone else in the world. That's all I really care about, honestly.
How important is it for you to be a role model for your son, obviously your daughter as well? And what would you say is the most important thing you feel like you can pass down to your son? Maybe something that you've learned from all these years of being in MMA?
It's like, hard. Sometimes in life you get knocked down, but just how you get back up, man. Dust yourself off and keep moving forward no matter what.
I feel like that's kind of the big theme in your career as well, even just like early days, coming back and winning the title, and even just kind of like the narrative at the moment. But man, I've got to say, we've been stalking your Instagram and we see you bulking up. There's a lot of thirst trap photos putting up. Stipe looking like a beast in the gym. How's the bulk going, man?
Going good, man. Slowly but surely. Steady wins the race, and so just I'll be getting there.
What kind of stuff are you specifically doing to get bigger for this?
No, I'm just definitely eating more and just not really worrying about I'm doing my cardio, but not as much as I would usually do, and lift a little bit heavier.
What was sort of the catalyst? What was the main thing that made you decide? Because I know, in your last few fights, people were almost surprised. You look so trim. You look downsized. What was the big catalyst that made you decide, you know what, I'm gonna get bigger and bulk up for my next fight?
Well, I think just a little bit bigger, give me a little bit more power. and stuff like that. I mean, the last couple of fights, I wasn't trying to lose a weight, just kind of came off. So I'm just trying to keep it on. Like I think I have a high metabolism, so that doesn't help my cause. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna try to gain weight and just if anything, just gain a little bit more weight, just get a lot stronger. That's all I care about. I just want to get a little more power in my punches. I think I can definitely do that, and I think just just a little bit more size will help.
Was there ever a moment in that last Ngannou fight where you felt like a big sort of, I guess, disadvantage in strength or disadvantage in power at all? Any moments like that in the fight?
No, man, not at all. I mean, he had some good shots in the beginning. I took him, and then he did good on the wrestling. I didn't have the greatest shot, but he did everything he was supposed to. He tucked my head, got out. Came swinging after, and I felt good. I still felt good, and then hit with the right hand, and I came in a little too sloppy, and he caught with the left hook, and that was it.
It's interesting because when you put on a little bit of size and weight, some people modify their style a little bit as well. I'm wondering, is there going to be much of a change of style when we see you next? I know the physique might be a little bit different, but is it more of the same, or are you looking to sort of change things up a little bit in your style department as well?
I know, we'll see. When we get to that road, we'll see if we'll take it or not. I'm just gonna keep getting better, keep getting stronger, and just get a little bit bigger.
Well, I'm always curious about this. Like we're not fighters ourselves, but there's always that battle, right, Stipe, between cardio, speed, and power. Like sometimes you just fall in love a little bit when you're in the gym with, hey man, I'm so quick. And then you're like, oh, some of the power's gone. And then sometimes you fall in love with knocking dudes out and having these massive shots, and you notice a little bit of that speed is gone. So how do you kind of balance that, man? Because you've been known for your movement, you're known for your power, your footwork, one of the best of all time. But at the same time, you've got that power there as well.
Yeah, I think just having the right, have the best coaches in the world, so they we figure it out, and I think they'll have a good game plan for me like we did last time, and just unfortunately the plan didn't work out the way we wanted it, but I mean that's life, and you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, so it's gonna test it out next time.
How much bigger do you want to be, Stipe? What's kind of the goal, the ideal weight?
You're not trying to be overweight by any means. I'm just gonna try to get a little bigger, stronger, so get up like my old days, like 240, 245, maybe a little bigger than that'd be great,
Well, what are you weighing now, if you don't mind me asking?
Close to 240.
Awesome. And it's been a little while since that fight with Francis went down. How do you look back on that fight? And sort of, it was a tough night in the office. What sort of stands out to you now that you think about that fight?
I want a rematch. I want to get my title back. He took something that was mine and drives me nuts every day.
Did you watch the fight back? Like, are you the kind of guy who goes back, watches the tape? I know some fighters just never watch their fights.
No, I knew I did wrong. I mean, I saw 1,000 memes of me getting knocked out with the guitar in my hand and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I mean, the internet never loses. So, no, yeah, man, I'm going to wait for that call. So, I think him and Lewis are going to fight next, and I'll get the winner.
Let me ask, I always wonder, right? Because, the internet is undefeated. You see so many memes, and you never really think about, I guess, the target. What is it like for you, seeing all those memes? I know you're a guy with, a great sense of humor, very, self-deprecating, but what is it like seeing those kind of memes? Do you brush it off? Do you just kind of laugh about it? Or is it a bit more like, well, hey, I was actually there. I'm the guy where, I was in there.
No, I mean, when I was younger, maybe I was like, I get a little bit more butthurt, but yeah, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do, I've done such a great career so far. I'm going to keep it going. My wife even laughed. She thought that was pretty funny.
She laughed at the memes.
I love it.
Good ones.
I'll tell you what, man, if you want to build someone's character, just put them in the firehouse for a couple of months and they'll toughen right up. You mentioned, you mentioned how you're fired up because he took something that's yours. And you were such a dominant champion, Stipe. And I mean, you've had those battles with Daniel Cormier. You came back and forth. You got that title. But would you say that this is the most you've been fired up in quite some time after this loss?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always fired up after a loss. I hate losing. I've lost a few times, and just a lot of losing just drives me nuts, man. I hate losing. I'm very competitive, and I like winning.
I remember the after the Daniel Cormier fight, the first one, you were so adamant. You were like, I know what I did wrong, and I know that I can beat him. And it was a big kind of narrative. And then obviously you proved everybody right. Is it a similar situation when you watch back that Ngannou fight? Do you have that same confidence where you're like, I know exactly how I can win the rematch?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no question. It was his night. I'm not going to take it away from him. And he didn't get lucky. He just, caught with a punch I didn't see. And it is what it is. And, congrats to him. He won the title. But, I'm coming back to get what's mine. And, I know I did wrong. And come back stronger and better and more prepared and take back what's mine.
Is there anything you can apply from that redemption against Daniel Cormier where you had the rematch, you were able to right the wrongs, and now this would be, if you end up fighting Ngannou again, this would be another time, avenging yourself and finding yourself in a rematch. Any lessons you can take away from that DC experience you can apply here?
Yeah, I think so. Well, every fight's different, no matter if it's the same guy. But yeah, you definitely can just weather the storm and be, wait, just do your thing and not worry about anything else, and know what you did last time that you did wrong, knowing what you did, mistakes you made, and just, make sure you're not doing it again.
It's interesting because with the DC fight, right? So obviously DC was able to beat you, and then you came back and you beat DC. Whereas here you beat Francis, and now he's come back and he's beaten you. And I'm just wondering, how can you can you compare sort of losing to DC to losing to Francis? And which one do you feel like sort of gave you the most fire? Do you feel like you're more fired up now than you were after that DC loss? Is there any kind of difference in the feeling for you?
No difference. I'm fired up on both. I hate losing. I just, it drives me nuts. And, I just want to, get my rematch and get my belt back.
I guess the good thing is Dana White said the other day that, with, I guess, the negotiations kind of falling through with Jon Jones, it looks like you'll be facing the winner of Derrick Lewis and Francis Ngannou. What did you make of that news?
Great news. This is what I was expecting, but you never know what could happen. But I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, sometimes you wonder, like, is that the case, or is this more public negotiations with Jon Jones? Does it feel real to you? Do you buy it that you will be facing the winner, or are you thinking, well, hopefully it's not a case where they come to a deal with Jon Jones and then you have to fight somebody else?
When I get a contract, then it'll be real.
But there's no contract at the moment. Actually, what a stupid question. You got the title fight ahead. Yeah, of course.
Speaking of that title fight, Stipe, what do you think of who the winner's going to be? Derrick Lewis is coming in with quite a bit of fire here, and he knows Ngannou well by this point. He kind of knows what to expect. But Francis looks like he's made quite a lot of improvements.
Yeah, honestly, I don't care who it is. I would love to fight Francis again and for the rematch, and kind of get that W back over him in the rubber match. But I don't care who it is, honestly. But I'm not preferring anyone. But if I had a choice, I would love to fight Ngannou again, just because he beat me last time and took the belt.
Did you see Derrick's comments, by the way? He was speaking to the Schmo, and I know Derrick's kind of like, funny guy, likes to say things, but he said that he believes you're punch drunk, and he said that your days of chasing the belt are over. Did you make anything of those comments?
No, I'm punch drunk. I have no idea what he's talking about, but okay.
It's one of those.
It's fire. I already said that.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
His balls are probably too hot. It's fire. I already said that.
Man. Well, people are trying to break into his van. All sorts of things are always happening to Derrick Lewis. The other guy that Casper mentioned before, Stipe, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, is Jon Jones, because a lot of people are always linking you and Jon Jones together. It's obviously a fight that fans have wanted to see in quite some time, but Jon Jones has come out and said that he's not going to be fighting you next. He actually went on Twitter. He said, I'm not here to fight Stipe. I will defend my title against him, no problem, but I'm waiting for the biggest draw and I'm willing to wait. What do you make of him sort of not looking to fight you anytime soon?
Oh, it is what it is. Listen, I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not worried about it, what he thinks or says. I'm just here to get my rematch and get my belt back. My punch drunk ass.
Is there any kind of draw card for you to fight Jon at heavyweight? Outside of the title, I suppose he's that guy that everyone's been chasing. to give him that first loss? I guess you know people see you as the GOAT. You've broken so many records, and that could be another thing that's just added to your legacy. Does that at all sort of stand out to you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's one of the pound for pound best fighters ever of all time. I mean, he's done so well, but it'd be great. But I'm not gonna worry about what he wants to do and how much he wants to get paid. And I'm here for one goal, and that's to get my belt back.
Do you feel like he's earned a shot at the title at heavyweight? I know he's proven himself a light heavyweight, and obviously you want your rematch as quickly as possible. But obviously even the talks of Jon Jones fighting the winner of Lewis and Ngannou. Where do you stand on that?
Listen, I'm not a matchmaker. Like I said before, I'm just, I'm a fighter. And if I was a matchmaker, I wouldn't be fighting. So, it's not my decision. It's the UFC's decision, and, it's what they want.
And just quickly, because Dana said that, Dana made it sound like we offered Jon Stipe and he wasn't interested. Was that fight ever offered to you? Was there a point, no contract, nothing?
Nothing. I saw it, I guess, so.
Yeah.
Take it as a grain of salt.
Don't mean a thing unless you ain't got that ring. And the other thing I was going to say is it kind of a weird situation because, we see in some of these divisions, Stipe, where it's kind of like middleweight, for example, a lot of the matchups have already happened and we're like, oh, what's going to be for the title next? Light heavyweight, for example, where it's like not quite sure where that's going to go. Whereas heavyweight, all of a sudden, it has had this explosion. Like, you've got guys like Ngannou, you've got guys possibly like Jon Jones, you've got, maybe a couple other fun matchups. Does that kind of excite you that the division is kind of at this point where everybody really wants to see all these fights and there's some kind of fun matchups for you to get sort of amped up for?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, the heavyweight division is, one of the best divisions because it's the big boys. It's what everyone wants to watch. And, I'm just happy that, definitely coming out and, guys are moving on up and making people excited again.
Time frame wise, I mean, obviously you've got the bulk happening at the moment. You've got your new baby coming in about 3 months. What would the time frame for your return look like? When would you be available?
I don't know. We'll see. You'll see when they want to give a rematch.
Do you think it could be, potentially this year, or do you think it'd have to wait till next year?
Yeah, maybe early next year. I don't know.
Nice. Very exciting. It'd be very exciting to see who wins between Derrick and Francis, and then obviously very exciting to see, when this rematch gets potentially booked. The other thing, before we go on, Stipe, the other thing that I'm excited for is, the feeling of never cutting my balls while shaving ever again. If you've ever been in the situation where you're in a bit of a rush, you got to quickly shave the beans ahead of work, or maybe a hot date, or maybe just, doing your trimming, and then you nick yourself, you cut yourself, and then 2 seconds later, you basically got a mural of blood in your shower. Not a good situation. Say goodbye to all of that with Manscaped's Lawnmower 3.0 with its skin-safe technology. Never nick your boys ever again. The scientists, the engineers at Manscaped, I believe they spent over 18 months perfecting and crafting this device to make it the best personal grooming device on the market so that you never cut your balls ever again. They've also got fantastic other products that will keep your boys nice and smooth, nice and smelling good, and hygienic as well. The Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 comes with an LED light, and it is waterproof and up to 90 minutes of battery life. It is the perfect tool for keeping your beans smooth, and they're also giving you 20% off with the code SUBMISSION. So I know the end of the financial year is coming around the corner, so maybe you can write it off as a business expense to keep your balls smooth with the code SUBMISSION and get that 20% off. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, Cass. The only Nick that you want to see are the Knicks in the NBA playoffs. And you know who can help you do that? Surfshark. That's right, guys. Surfshark giving you guys a crazy, crazy deal. You guys get 30 days money back guarantee policy. So when you try, you don't have to hesitate. And the deal is 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. You guys can go to surfshark.deals/submission now and make sure to check out all the stuff that we're missing out on. I mean, so much stuff right now, Cass. You got the NBA playoffs. You can watch the Celtics embarrass me yet again this year. The boxing, cornhole championships, AEW. There's a ton of movies and shows. You want to watch that Friends reunion, but you don't want to wait? Surfshark will get you sorted. Make sure to go to surfshark.deals/submission and enter promo code SUBMISSION for an 83% discount and 3 extra months.
That's
for
right.
free.
Surfshark, the best VPN out there. Never underestimate the importance of having a good VPN, protecting yourself, and also getting those shows that you want to watch, like Dennis mentioned. But speaking of importance, and just going back to you, Stipe, in terms of like, I mean, it's pretty clear that you want the immediate rematch, right? What is it about you that is so, I guess, eager to get the immediate rematch? Where some fighters, they might want to, take another fight and I guess, boost the confidence, get their feet under them. What is it that makes you feel so confident that you can go straight back into a rematch, potentially with Ngannou, without any kind of warm-up fights?
Because I have the best coach in the world. I mean, that's where I'm at today. It's because of my coaches.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely, there's a storyline there as well, so people can't wait to see it. I'm wondering, Stipe, as well, I mean, a lot of people are always mentioning, hey, like this guy, one of the GOATs in MMA, would he ever like jump over, do a boxing match before it's all said and done? Before we sort of go back to the MMA thing, has that ever sort of crossed your mind with so many big names in the heavyweight division in boxing and it blowing up like it sort of did in the 90s?
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be exciting. Something different, a new challenge, as you would say. Yeah, I would definitely love to cross over and try something like that. That'd be kind of fun.
Would it be a situation where it would have to be like you go back into the UFC, maybe you get the belt back, and then after you retire from MMA, you go into boxing? Or would it be a situation where you could even do it at the same time while still being an MMA, still being an active fighter, sort of crossing over at that point?
Well, when I get my belt back, not maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Right now my main focus is getting that belt back.
Okay, we'll get off boxing, but just one more question from me. If you did go to boxing, who would it be? Who would be the big fish that you'd be chasing after?
Oh, of course, either Fury or Joshua.
Would it be a case of whoever sort of... Sorry?
Or even Wilder.
Wilder? What would be the, I guess, allure for you between those guys? Is it whoever's holding the belt, or is it just something else? What would it be for you?
It's the toughest one out of all three, I guess. I guess, the one that's probably the best of all three, or just who's fighting the best, I guess.
As we wrap up, Stipe, just because we did stalk you on Instagram and there were all those nice thirst traps for us to pay attention to, we did notice a great post where you said, May 15th, 2016 goes down in history as one of the best accomplishments of my life. One of the greatest feelings in the world is getting that strap around my waist, being blessed to have that feeling 6 times. And I would love to finish my career with lucky number 7, #belt season. What exactly did you mean by finish your career with lucky number 7? What would sort of break it down for us?
Well, just get another belt. I mean, get number 7, lucky number 7.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as we're reading it, how likely is it that you would retire if you won the belt back?
I don't know. Right now, it's maybe I should have put it in better words.
No, I think the words are great. They paint a good picture.
Yeah, I know. Right now, it's lucky number 7, man. Just get that belt, and we'll worry about it after I get that belt, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, because like I sense a theme with you. Obviously, like I know you've always talked about hard work and something that you want to show to your kids, your daughter, and obviously your son that's around the corner. And I almost feel like nothing would. Do you feel like this is kind of an opportunity to further prove that? You get knocked down in life, you come back, and the hard work kind of pays off. What a storybook ending to come back, win the belt, and retire as champion, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I show my kids that their dad was a punch drunk, chasing dream guy, chasing title guy that has no more chances, and get that chance and get it back and shut a lot of people up.
Well, I'll tell you something, Stipe. One thing's for sure, it's been too long since we've spoken to you, and it's always fun catching up, man. What an exciting time. You've got your son on the way, the new podcast, which is absolutely awesome. Everybody can check out Jabs, Just Awkward Buddies podcast, where the guys honestly break down so many fun stories. There's that great bar fight story that Stipe spoke about with his coach and all sorts of really cool things. And I really like the opportunity to get to know you behind the scenes a little, Stipe, because you got a great sense of humor that everybody needs to sort of get a hold of. And of course, Stipe Miocic's extra strength coffee, tackle life with that extra strength coffee. I mean, I don't want to say that it'll get rid of COVID for you, but it'll help you get away from it a little bit quicker. So Stipe Miocic's extra strength coffee. Follow the man at Stipe Miocic, always with the great posts and the thirst traps. Stipe, we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for coming onto the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.